Okay. Excuse me, Mr. Edgeworth. Rhoda! Hey! I wanted to give you a bit more time, but I'm afraid I wasn't able to convince the captain. I'm very sorry, Mr. Edgeworth, but the captain feels that he has allowed you ample time. He says that he'd appreciate it if you could wrap it up here and return to your seat. I understand his sentiments, however, if I'm not allowed to complete my investigation, the crime scene may become contaminated by the time we land. If I must stop then I insist to be allowed to oversee the preservation of the two sites. Under your supervision, of course. If that's your only condition, then I believe we can accommodate your wishes. I'm here to assist you in any way that I can, Mr. Edgeworth. Sounds like fun. We can camp out and watch over everything together. I found proof that the real crime scene was not in the lounge, and I have enough evidence to prove myself to be innocent of any wrongdoing. And yet, regarding what Miss Meal reminded me about Miss Tenero, I can't allow my investigation to end here. The truth must come to light. Yay! Save time. Yeah! Alrighty. Yo, this game takes a long time to save. What the fuck? Where are we? So March 12th, 1 PM, local time, Hope Springs Airport. I know that once we had landed, I'm supposed to let the local police take over. And thanks to Miss Tenero and Miss Meal, I was able to preserve the crime scene. But I just can't shake it. I wasn't able to talk with Miss Tenero in private. So I'm left wondering just what she's up... or what was she up to? Why did she do what she did? There must be a way for me to continue my investigation. I've been expecting you, Miles Edgeworth. Wait, is this... Oh my god, it is! It's Francisca! Oh, Francisca? I thought you were still in Germany. I go where I am needed. And wherever there are criminals to be caught. Her name is Franziska von Karma, the daughter of my mentor, Manfred von Karma. She, like myself, is a prosecutor. Are you heading up this case? It would be a bit of a relief if you are. Don't you try to flatter me, Miles Edgeworth. I'm placing you under arrest. What? It's quite frustrating, actually. I had hoped to exact my revenge on you in a different venue. Well, I'll have to take what I can get. I never thought I'd see the day. When a disciple of the House of Von Karma would become a criminal, have you no shame? Wait, it has all been a big misunderstanding. I didn't kill the victim. A misunderstanding? I heard all about the murder over the police radio from the captain himself. You waited for the victim on the first floor and then beat him to death. Francisca, do you honestly believe that I killed a man? I suppose I should reserve judgment until after I've investigated this for myself. I can put you on your arrest on hold until then. That's as it should be. Huh, I don't need a lecture on how to perform my duties from you of all people. To be perfect in every way, the fulfillment of that creed alone is all I strive for. Well, I have my own creed which I must fulfill, so why don't we solve this together? I have to get going. The crime scene awaits. Don't you dare leave town. Trust me, I had no intention to. Detective Gumshoe! Yes, sir. Oh, look at him. Too slow. Oh, listen up, I'm leaving you in charge of watching this man. Don't mess up, understand? Mr. Edgeworth, I'm supposed to guard him? A simple yes or no, detective. Yes, sir. Understood, sir. Just leave it to me. Miles Edgeworth? If you interfere with my investigation, I'll arrest you on the spot. Are we clear? Now then, if you'll excuse me. Good to see you again, Mr. Edgeworth, sir. Boy, am I glad to see you're okay. Thank you, detective. I believe in you, sir. You can lean on me. I'll get you through this. I have to admit, I'm a bit curious as to what Francisca is up to. Maybe I should ask the good detective. Very well, in that case, I have a few questions for you. Oh, there we go. I'm in control. Whoa! I actually really want to talk with... I don't know who I can talk to. This guy, I think? Looking from behind, I think I've seen this man somewhere before. In Soviet Russia, well-flagged lunch boxes eat Jew. Found it, lol. Oh, I feel a wave of creative powers coming on. It's over 9,000! For my next Elite movie, it's gonna be the Steel Samurai Warrior of Neo Tokyo versus the World Samurai Champion of Earth. It's gonna rock so many boxes. So the Steel Samurai is finally getting a movie. Yep, that's the guy from Case 3? Case 3 of the first game. Yeah, Steel Samurai, Warrior of Neo Tokyo. Lunchland. Not bad, I guess it's gotten big enough to warrant its own branch shop. What should I go with? I recommend our airport special, World Flags lunchboxes. Only available for a limited time. We have a variety of lunchboxes made up to look like different countries' flags. I wonder if they're aiming to take Lunchland to the international market. Anyway, let's actually talk to Gumshoe. Initial investigation. So, how was the initial investigation going? We just shipped the body off to the coroner's office. And we're taking statements now, sir. That sounds like Franziska. She was always good at quick responses to a case. I'd say she was a little too quick, sir. Oh, how so? I rushed on over as soon as I got word of the affair, sir. But somehow, when I got here, Miss Von Karma was already here barking out orders at everyone. It was kinda creepy. As though she knew there had been a murder or something. And had come in advance to await your flight's arrival. That is sort of odd. She did show up rather quickly, and out of the blue. Plus, I still don't know why she's here in America. There must be some backstory to all of this. Franziska Von Karma. Miss Von Karma just kind of popped up at the prosecutor's office about a week ago, sir. Something about chasing down leads related to a certain incident? No details? It's kinda top secret, so she can't talk about it, even with me, sir. Knowing her, the only type of talking she likes to do is with her whip. Plus, I doubt the top secret part was what stopped her from talking to you, Detective. Although, I wonder if her case has anything to do with mine. Anyway, that's about all the info I have, sir. We should find out more as we investigate. Yes, it is high time to resume my investigation. Starting with talking to the people involved in this case afresh. Yeah! No man, we're doing it, yeah! We back on and they said the ship. Back on the plane. Is that the captain? First class. What is this song? So, you must be the captain. Why, yes I am, and who might you be? I am the prodigy prosecutor Franziska Von Karma, and I have a few questions for you. Don't you dare, Captain, getting friendly with another woman. I'll never forgive you if you do. What are you talking about? I only have eyes for you, my dear Cammy. Wouldn't bet money on our dear Captain to be much of a reputable person. Sure, you don't want to ask the Captain some questions, sir? He was in the cockpit the entire time. I highly doubt he would know anything of use. This song. Anyway, I like to leave that type of witness to Franziska and her whip. Oh my god. Oh dear. Oh god, it's that guy again. It's LeBlanc! Now see here. Sorry, I'm sorry! How long do you intend to hold me? It is impossible for me to be the criminal, I told you. Mr. LeBlanc? Oh, it is you. Tell this man to stop stopping me from going. Time is money. I don't have even 1 second of wasteful time to spend. Did you finish taking a statement yet? Yep, all done, sir. I do not concern if you're not done examining the cargo hold. I want my cargo back. LeBlanc's cargo. If you make a single scratch on my art, you will pay. Art? What sort of art? Mr. LeBlanc is an art dealer, so he's got a bunch of artwork down in the cargo hold, sir. There's practically a mountain of them, large and small. From folk costumes to stone statues, I sell all kinds of arts. Folk costumes? Speaking of which, Mr. LeBlanc's hat. It kinda looks like that other piece of cloth. So I should probably present the cloth. Soiled with blood. Mr. LeBlanc, can you please take a look at this for me? Oh, it's a Borginian cloth. As I suspected, your hat is made of the same material, I suppose. Yes, of course, this fabric is so famous, orders come from over the seas for more. Interesting. Then this is the cargo you were talking about earlier. No, my cargo this time is much, many gigantic. You, detective, when can I have my cargo moved? You can get your cargo back when we're done investigating, pal. The stubbornness of you police, it is no good. And it is no good that attendant refuses to exit the attendance room too. That attendant? I wonder if he's talking about Mr. Nero. Of course he is. Who else would it be? Right, Rhoda, Nero. What did you mean by that attendant, Miss LeBlanc? She was taken in the attendance room for her interview. And then they still have not come out. They make no sign of coming out either. I was finished with my own interview much earlier, quicker than her. Why is Mr. Nero's interview the only one that's taking up so much time? Ah, Franziska. Miles Edgeworth, you were given free rein to examine the plane, weren't you? Yes, I was able to obtain the cooperation of the flight attendants. Speaking of attendants, I'd like to speak with Miss Tenero. I wonder if you might grant me permission to enter the flight attendants room. Before I do, you still have to clear up a few issues surrounding your own circumstances. Okay. I understand. You may have tricked those attendants with your sophisticated talking. But you can't pull the wool over my eyes, Miles Edgeworth. Alright, we're having an argument with her now. Franziska's logic. Let's not complicate things and go with the most obvious conclusion. The scene of the crime was here, in the very lounge the body was discovered. From the time the victim was seen calling for an attendant until his body was found, the only person in this lounge the entire time was you, Miles Edgeworth. This unmistakably makes you the likeliest suspect. Okay. The likeliest suspect, Franziska. Do you have a problem with that? No, but it's not like you to use such vague wording. You're usually a bit more absolute. I'm simply trying to watch out for you. Or is my kindness too hard for you to comprehend? Thank you, but your leniency is unnecessary, for I will prove my innocence soon enough. If I want to continue my investigation, I'll have to break her line of logic. Fast. Right, oh well, definitely I would not say the crime was in the lounge. Because it was moved by a suitcase. Right, the suitcase. Yeah, this was used to transport the body. Boom! Bitch. Ho ho ho! It would appear that you did not have all the information you needed after all. But what does that mean? I found a nice piece of evidence just before I was forced to stop investigating. A piece that proves that the body was moved from a different location. The music is the best. The killer used this suitcase to move the victim's body, meaning that the real scene of the crime is not this lounge at all. Objection! Now who's the one rashly jumping to conclusions? Excuse me? All you did was find this piece of cloth inside the suitcase. That doesn't prove that the body was moved. It could be that the killer simply chose that suitcase as a good place to hide the cloth. I expected you would come to that conclusion. It would seem I can't escape that easily. You should know better than that. Avon Karma is perfect in every way. Ah, but did you know that the killer definitely wheeled the suitcase around at some point? Objection! As if there is proof of that. Oh, but there is. My dear Watson. Boom, boom. Okay, so where is the proof that the suitcase was moved around? Here, obviously. Take that! The spilled grape juice in front of the elevator? No way! Yes, and I'd like to draw your attention to this area here. So where is the evidence that proves the killer dragged the suitcase through here? Oh, yeah. I don't think it matters, as long as it's on this. Boom. That should be fine. This mark here, wouldn't you say that it looks suspiciously like tracks from two wheels? I suppose. Further, there is also grape juice residue on the wheels of the suitcase. This means that the suitcase containing the victim's body definitely passed through here. I suppose that this means that the killer did move the victim's body from somewhere else. I'm glad you've come to your senses. Oh my god. Not so fast, this still doesn't put you in the clear, not by a long shot. Oh really? Argument number 2! Alright, cool. Let's do it. Francisca's logic part 2. You prepared yourself and acquired the piggy bank before the plane hit that turbulence, and then you waited for the victim in the lounge where you beat him to death. Then while you were in the elevator with the victim's body you stuffed into the suitcase, or with the victim's body stuffed into the suitcase, the plane hit that patch of turbulence and out flew the body from within the suitcase. With no way out, you hastily put the suitcase back where you were taking it from, and pretended to be the discoverer of the body. Really? How absurd. Not a bad bit of logic for something you thought of on the fly. Just what are you insinuating? I will show you exactly how flawed your logic is. No matter how strong of a face you put on, not even you can hide your fears from me. I'll expose the flaws in her logic in one fell swoop. Oh yeah! Okay, so... You prepared yourself and acquired the piggy bank before the plane hit that turbulence. Not true, because it flew through the cupboard. Oh, the glass door thing. The fact that you took this piece of evidence into account in your testimony is to be commended. Your legal prowess is certainly something to be feared. Evidence and logic. Essential tools that those who would stand in a courtroom must learn to master. But what if there was a fake piece of evidence thrown into the mix? A fake. This Mr. iFly piggy bank is not such a fake. It is not the real murder weapon. What? Ooh, the nice music. The timing of when the bank was taken from the shop is important. And it was taken after the turbulence had occurred. But then what about the blood on the bank? What do you make of that? I assume it was added after the murder when the killer fabricated this weapon. Looking at this, or looking at it this way, the killer basically did 3 things after the turbulence. After exiting the elevator, the killer brought the suitcase to the shop and left it there. Can't tell if my frame rate just like tanked or not, that was really weird. Then the killer proceeded to pick the bank up from off the floor. It just sounded like the... Yeah, it definitely is. And took it to fabricate the fake murder weapon by hitting the victim on the head. I still need to figure out the best, like, settings for this emulator. Or maybe even look up a different emulator I could use. Finally, the victim's wallet was planted on my personage. In my pocket, to be precise. God, it's weird hearing it in, like, slow-mo. But I don't know, because they're going at, like, normal speed. It's weird. Everything was done... No, it's definitely in slow-mo, because I can tell by the arrows and how fast they move. Everything was done so that I would be framed for the murder of Mr. Ackby Hicks. And also the fact it speeds up. God, how weird. You there? Yes, ma'am. Other than this piggy bank, was anything else resembling a murder weapon found? We didn't find anything in this lounge or in the shop that could be used as one, ma'am. Most of the items that could have been used were broken during the turbulence. The remaining items all tested negative for any trace of blood. I see. Well, Miles Edgeworth, it appears your stall tactics are at an end. That was weird. But it's possible that it's just hidden somewhere, sir. What the hell was that? Oh, right, because she used the whip. If the criminal had wanted to hide the weapon in a safer place, I think the weapon would have been hidden in the same place as the bloody cloth. Exactly what I was thinking. Because the cloth was hidden inside that suitcase, it signals to me that the killer had not prepared a more secure place to hide the evidence. Which means that the real murder weapon is either still on the murderer's personage, or is still at the real crime scene. Objection! There is one more possibility, and that would be that the piggy bank is in fact the real weapon. But didn't we just... Oh god. Let me finish. The killer took the bank out from the display case before the turbulence by opening the lock on the display case door. And it was at that time... Wait, what? At that time that the glass pane in the door was broken. I'd say that's a perfectly reasonable line of reasoning, wouldn't you? Let's see, so that means that the killer had the key to the display case. Franziska, the person you're talking about... No, not so fast, I'm not finished. The person I'm talking about also committed another sin. She tricked the captain, and granted you permission to conduct your investigation. Yes, it is the sin of lying. She's on about Rhoda. Speaking of which, I recall that you also wish to speak with her. Yes. Very well, permission granted. But only if I can sit in on your interrogation. Do we understand each other? I have no intention of interrogating her, but you are welcome to accompany me if you so wish. Mr. Nero is in the flight attendant's room. Let's move. Okay. Here we go. So, first floor flight attendant's room. So you're the one that poked around inside this plane without the captain's permissions. Or permission. Deviating from the flight attendant's manual is very unbecoming, you know. What were you hoping to accomplish by doing that? Mr. Nero. Now, Mr. Edgeworth, you're here too? Can you please help us and shed some light on why you did what you did? Alright. Oh, there we go. I think I have to talk to her. Yay! Oh, she looks so sad. Right, so the captain's permission. Why did you lie about receiving the captain's permission like that? Because I didn't think I would be able to get his permission. What do you mean? The captain, he only has ears for Cammy. I spoke with the captain a little earlier myself. He definitely seems to be rather taken with Miss Meal. Yeah, and on top of that, I'd mistakenly accused Mr. Edgeworth of being the killer. I wanted to make amends. In that case, please allow me to thank you for what you did. Thanks to you, I was able to clear myself of all charges. Really? You were able to prove your innocence? Oh, thank goodness. Mr. Nero, is it? There is one more thing I'd like to ask you. You were in the in-flight shop just before the turbulence, weren't you? Please answer honestly. Yes, I was. And why were you there? Well, Why the sudden hesitation? Franziska seems to have struck a nerve. The in-flight shop. All I did was go check up on the shop like I always do. You're saying it was for work, then? Yes, I'm in charge of the shop, so I have to keep an eye on it. I don't have any reason to go there otherwise. After your visit to the shop, you paid a visit to this room, correct? Yes, I came back to freshen up and adjust my makeup. I'm sorry, but there isn't much else to tell. Mr. Nero claims to have no reason other than duty to go to the shop. Is that all there is to it? Maybe I should ask her about that thing. About that thing? Oh, the suitcase. If you could please take a look at this for me, Mr. Nero. Ah, that suitcase. Yes, about this suitcase. You are the one who designed it, correct? And I think I figured something else out about it. This suitcase is the reason you went to the shop, isn't it? There's nothing you won't find out eventually, is there? Won't you please tell me more about the suitcase? Yes, I was interested in seeing how the suitcases I had designed were selling. I know that as a service professional, I'm not supposed to care. But I really wanted to know. I was glad to see that it was the last one there. The last one there? The last suitcase. So you're saying, Mr. Nero, that the suitcase in question was the last one? Yes, they're just so popular they're practically flying off the shelves. That's not exactly the impression I got. The one in the shop is most definitely the last one. Well, we're currently looking at that suitcase. Really? Then I guess we sold all of them. Thank you very much for taking the last one. I didn't say anything about buying it. Then say you'll buy it. I'm sorry, I can't. But why? I think it'd grow great with your complexion, Mr. Edgeworth. It really suits you. I guarantee it personally as a service professional. Well, that is... How should I put this? It's hideous. What? Maybe that was a bit too direct. Moving on, my issue with the suitcases isn't the design, it's the number of them remaining. Remaining? There were 2 suitcases in the in-flight shop when I investigated it. 2? But that's impossible. I'm sure there was only 1. Looks like her story has generated quite the contradiction. When I left the shop, I'm positive there was only 1 suitcase left. Something is amiss here. What could be the meaning of this inconsistency? By the way, Mr. Nero, what is one of those suitcases doing here? That's... I thought you said there was only 1 left. That one is, it's mine. I've used it for a very long time now. She's used it for a very long time. I think not. Mr. Nero, I'd appreciate it if you wouldn't lie to me. Excuse me? I don't believe for even 1 second that you've used this for a very long time. What proves that this hasn't been used for nearly as long as Mr. Nero says? The price tag. Or more the fact it's got a tag on it. Oh! Tell me, Mr. Nero, is it also your habit to keep the price tag pristine on your suitcases? Or suitcase? What is the meaning of this? Why would you lie about a suitcase? Despite having faith in her design sense, the sales numbers made her cry bitter tears. The truth is becoming increasingly clear to me. Mr. Nero, I think I understand. I know what you were trying to hide. Now then, this suitcase was originally in the in-flight shop. Seeing as how the price tag is still on this suitcase, one can only assume it was out on the floor for sale in the shop. And the person who bought the suitcase was... yourself. It was you, wasn't it, Mr. Nero? I hate to say this, but this suitcase that you designed, it hasn't sold very well, has it? You saw how poorly this design that you poured your heart into was selling, and were deeply hurt. That's why you wanted to make it look like it... You wanted to make it look like it was selling by buying it yourself. Isn't that right? Then, the reason you went to the shop and came back here was... I'm sorry. All I really have is my job. I was overjoyed when my design was chosen. I thought that maybe I had finally accomplished something. But the suitcases didn't sell. It's because of the design, isn't it? Or because it's, as you put it, hideous. I can't say they chose a great place in which to sell them either. Yeah, I mean, who would sell luggage on a plane? Bit dumb, but whatever. We weren't selling a single one, and they were just sitting there collecting dust. I felt so bad seeing them there day in, day out. So I decided to buy one for every flight I worked. You buy one every single time you work a flight. I see, so in order to keep your resolution, you went and bought one today as well. Yes, and here is my receipt for that purchase. This receipt is clearly timestamped 5:40 AM. Ah! Well, there's that. The truth is, there's still a bunch of them left unsold. They're planning to scrap the remaining ones at the end of this flight. Mr. Nero, where are these other suitcases? They should all be down in the cargo hold. Then the suitcase the killer used could very well have come from the cargo hold. Mr. Edgeworth, you don't think that the killer used one of my suitcases to... Yes, I do. The killer used one of your beloved suitcases to move the victim's body. How could they? Those suitcases were meant to be faithful partners to our passengers on their trips. That's all I ever wished for them to be. Mr. Nero, is there any other way to get to the cargo hold other than the elevator? The only other way is just through that door there. What about security? That door has no special lock installed because, just to enter this room, you need a special keycard that only crew members have access to. Which means that the culprit is someone who can enter this room, eliminating the passengers and leaving only crew members as potential suspects. I can't believe it. Yes, Francisca? Going on these wild goose chases, you're a disgrace to the Von Karma name. And what do you mean by that? The suitcase came from the cargo hold. That fact alone tells the whole story. Yes, which is why I said the culprit must be a crew member who used their keycard. Miles Edgeworth, you're proposing that the killer rode the elevator to the cargo hold, from the cargo hold, correct? Yes, that's the only realistic possibility. That other attendant, Miss Meal. I asked her earlier and she had this to say. Francis got information out of Miss Meal? In order to make the elevator go down to the cargo hold, a different keycard is required. A different one? Yes, and the only person who holds that particular card is you, Miss Rhoda De Niro, and only you. What? Is this true, Mr. Nero? Yes, I keep that keycard in my locker at all times. Could you please show us that card right now? Yes, hold on. It's gone! Calling it. Yep, what do you know? I don't believe it. What's wrong? The keycard. It's gone. I mean, I saw that coming a mile off. Very clever. Pretending that your card was stolen when in fact you're just trying to hide it from us. You've really thought this through. Wait, it's not like that. You can tell us all about what it's like down at the station. Officer, arrest this woman. Yes, ma'am. Mr. Edgeworth. What's wrong? There's disbelief written all over your face. Francisca, I know that you are the lead investigator on this case. However, hold it, don't even think about wasting any more of my time. You know the rules as well as I do. Evidence speaks louder than words. Even if this isn't a courtroom, that basic tenet still applies. I intend to investigate the cargo hold now. What will you do, Miles Edgeworth? I intend to do likewise. Oh, nice. How does this... I can't remember if this will just... Will it put me at a point where I have to continue? Oh, there we go. I mean, it comes up with a save point too, but... Whatever. No, as soon as it comes up with a box that I can't proceed by, I'm assuming it's one that it won't auto-advance dialogue. Bloody hope not. Hold the phone. There we go, perfect. Because I'm going to end the session here. Because I've done half of this case, so I should be able to do the next case, the rest of this case next session. And yeah, that's really all there is to it. Either way, that's going to be the end of this session. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed. And until next time, take care.